Craig, obviously disappointing defeat. What were your thoughts on the game?
I thought we showed a lot of grit and determination. We battled through a lot of adversity there for sort of 55, 60 minutes, whatever it was, down to 12 men. We knew it was going to be a tough game. First up against Wigan champions last season, so we knew it was going to be a tough game. But saw a lot of positives out there. The things that we talked about this week were showing that togetherness and showing that desire to play for each other and play for the club, and I thought we saw that in abundance.
Inevitably, we'll have to talk about the red card. It's a big factor in the game. It had quite an impact on the game and on the final outcome. How did you see it? I just need to choose my words carefully here, because I know there's obviously a big thing about head contacts in rugby league, and we're trying to make the sport safer, which we need to do. But as an head coach, and we've had head coaches meetings about what constitutes a red card and what's mitigating circumstances. And as coaches at every club this pre-season, we've been teaching players, or trying to teach players, new habits and dipping into contact and trying contact under or on the ball. And I just don't know what we expect Liam Watts to do there. In my opinion, the ball carriers come into contact is whether he's deliberately lowered his height or he's slipped, but his height is lowered. It's not a swinging arm. You can understand if somebody flies out of the line and they whack somebody around the head deliberately or just carelessly. You can wear that. I can't wear that. I just can't wear it. And as a coach, how can I coach my players this week for that to not happen again? I always say that if I can coach somebody to be better and not do that, then we'll do that. I can't coach anybody not to do that. And the mitigating circumstances there for me where the player will go down towards the ground. What's the difference between that one and the Luke Gooley one? What's the difference between, and it weren't even a swinging arm, what's the difference between the contacts that happened on the Wigan player to Harry Smith picking somebody up and dropping him on his head? And again, I don't want Harry Smith to get sent off, but it has a massive impact on the game. I'm led to believe again from the sideline that the recommendation from the video referee that Harry Smith were a red card, and on the recommendation of somebody else, of an on-field official, it got reduced to a yellow card. Why? Is that part of the problem, that there's potentially not enough clarity around who's making the decision, how these incidents are being interpreted, etc.?
No, I don't think the clarity about who's making the decisions is any issue. I didn't think there were before today. If it comes down, and I might be wrong, but this is the feedback that I've got from the touchline, is that the recommendation from the video referee were a red card, and it weren't a red card, it was a yellow card. Why? If that's the case, then somebody needs to answer why.
I guess this is probably something you'll need to think about, but is the red card something that you like to appeal, do you think?
We'll see. I'm hoping that I won't need to appeal it. I'm hoping that there'll be no charges to answer, but we'll obviously see, won't we? It depends on how they interpret it. Whether if there's no charges to answer, then it means that somebody's got something wrong, and are people likely to admit they've got something wrong? If I've got it wrong, I'll hold my hands up and say I've seen it wrong, but I don't think I have.
4-4 at the time as well.
Yeah.
Well in the game in the balance.
Yeah, we were happy where we were. We knew points would be at a premium in conditions like tonight, and you could tell that both teams knew that as well. Both teams took 2 penalty goals because they knew points were going to be at a premium up until the reduction of Liam Watts. But no, we were really pleased with where we were. We were knocking the sets out, and we were defending tough and working hard for each other, is what we talked about, and really pleased with the desire and the attitude of the players. And some of our sort of skill and decision making could be better, then the sets could have been a little bit better, but even with all that, we were still well in the game, and I thought we were good value for it.
I mean, in a strange sort of way, there must be some significant positives to take from the second half, because it would have been easy for heads to drop. But the lads sort of kept their heads, didn't they, and were well in the game.
Yeah, they were. Like I say, I think we don't want to look back, we want to look forward. But if this happens last year, then we'll probably get beat by 50 or 60 points. It's a new group that we've got this year, and it's a sort of new attitude that we've tried to instill in the players through pre-season. And I thought we saw that in abundance in the second half. Like I said, a lot of adversity there against a world-class team, best team in the competition last year, and they're playing for the World Club Challenge next week, aren't they? So it's probably probably the best squad in the Super League. So for our boys to do that as a new group, that it's their first competitive game to play together, I thought they were outstanding.
The fact that
Liam's one of your important middle players. Did that have a big impact on your rotations as the game progressed?
Yeah, it does. Whether it's Liam Watts or Joe Westerman or Muslim Mustafa or Sam, whoever it is in the middle, when you lose a middle rotation, it's massively difficult because it impacts on your rotation, it impacts on your combination, it impacts on your good ball shape as well. So your good ball shape becomes restricted. And I thought that affected us a little bit in the second half. We tried to push a little bit too much instead of just being patient and just trying to punch holes and play off the back of a quick play of the ball. I thought we tried to find a little bit too much that weren't there, or we'd not earned the reward to go wide. But when you lose the middle, it impacts on you massively. Yeah.
Just in terms of positives, last one from me.
Yeah.
Obviously, Danny Richardson seemed to really grow into the game. Great to see him play a full 80 minutes after such a long layoff.
Yeah, it is. Danny, he's had some real tough luck with injuries over the last sort of 16, 18 months, and for him to get that first competitive game, he's played in 2 pre-season friendlies, but for him to get that first competitive game out again, like I say, against a real good team like Wigan, will do wonders for his confidence, and hopefully now he can build into the season and get better as the season progresses.
Greg, obviously a lot's been made about the back row this year. How pleasing was it to see Charbel and Ellie go well today?
Yeah, I thought Ellie were outstanding. I thought Chav started well in the first sort of 20-25 minutes. Made a couple of unforced errors, and that impacted on his game a little bit. I think maybe confidence-wise, but his work rate was really good. But yeah, we've got some threat on an edge now, and hopefully if we can maintain 13 players on the field, we might see a little bit more of them.
Yeah, and obviously Nixon Putt, he was in the middle today. Is that something that he'd worked on in the week?
Yeah, we've moved Nixon into that middle because obviously we've got them 2 back rows, and there's Alex Miller coming back and Lewis Johnson as well. So we've got loads of strength in the back row. So we just wanted to put Nixon in the middle just to give us a little bit of impact, a little bit of impact with his carries and his defence as well. Still minute wise, he's still getting his engine, so we can rotate more easily. We should be able to rotate more easily in the middle with when Nixon plays in there rather than on an edge on a back row.
Yeah, just the last one from me. Obviously, we spoke in the week about Wigan's middle unit. Are you pleased with the way that you fronted up and dealt with that physicality, especially in the opening 30?
Yeah, certainly. I thought the first 20, 25, 30 minutes, I thought we hadn't got more than handled them, or more than held his own. But yeah, it's a quality pack, and for our guys to come up against them and more than hold their own, I'm really pleased with them. Cheers.
Right, you got a ref tonight, or a video ref last night. It's great that all the games are on TV, but do you think the officials are taking on too much this season?
I don't think so, mate. No, it's, if you're refereeing last night and you sat down watching the game today, it shouldn't really impact on any decision-making process. You're not fatigued, sat down watching the TV, so it shouldn't really impact too much.
Do you have any injury concerns, Greg?
Not as far as I'm aware, no, at the minute, no. As you always get bumps and bruises after an encounter like that, we'll know more once we get them back in at the start of next week. But there's none jumped out at me from the physios or the doctor to let me know.
What did you make of the whole weekend, Craig? Did you see that your concerns tonight about the dismissal? Did you see that reflected in other matches as well or not?
Not really, no. There's always going to be contentious decisions. I think the yellow card ones, they're going to be the more contentious ones. Maybe what supporters see as being a little bit, inverted commas, soft. The red card ones for me should be set in stone. It should be black and white, the red cards, and I don't think there should be any sort of grey areas when you've got the mitigating circumstances, guidelines to work to. And I just thought it was a really poor decision, and it was a black and white red card for me.
What was your thought process behind putting Josh Sim on the bench?
Chabs had struggled a little bit late last week and earlier this week with a little bit of a niggle. So we just playing Nixon put in the middle. We knew that we might get an injury, so we had to account for any eventuality. And if Charbel had gone down during the game, then Nixon would have gone into the back row to cover that, because Charbel would have been outside that rotation as well. So if Charbel had come off and an outside back had gone down and we needed rotations, then we just needed that cover. And we knew that Jack Broadbent, if needed, he could go into the middle and do 10-15 minutes at 9. Not an ideal situation, but we just needed to make cover any eventualities for injuries.
Thank you.
Cheers.
All good, guys.
Thank you.